Hi, this is Christy with Guidepost to Wellness. Welcome back for return viewers and welcome to anybody that's new to the channel. I talk about all things that have to do with wellness, and this is the third video in a little bit of a series talking about the circle of life and looking at the areas outside of just what people traditionally think of for wellness, which is exercise and eating. But it's all geared together. So we started with the Circle of Life exercise, and I'll put the link to that video below, which is taking a look at all of the other things, what we call primary foods, a lot of us health coaches, which are the things that are really critical and important to our overall wellness, besides the things that we eat and how much we exercise. And by doing that circle of life, it gives you an opportunity to non-judgmentally, with love, assess where you are in certain areas and then identify the areas, a few, that you want to work on. I'm going to do this exercise quarterly because I think it's important to kind of, what you focus on is what's going to get improved, and also to avoid getting overwhelmed by trying to do it all, which can lead to more stress, and we know that stress is one of the big enemies of wellness. So we talked about setting an intention, and one of the areas in my circle of life that I want to focus on this quarter is creativity. So I talked about setting an intention each day to approach the day with creativity and habit stacking that intention statement with my start of day. And now it's time to talk about taking action, because as I mentioned in the intention video, setting an intention is good, and it makes you feel good that you're going to set the intention, and it's great for setting the tone for the day, but you have to have something actionable. Otherwise, you're just going to sit there and wait for the money to fall out of trees, and wait for a new job to land in your lap, and wait for the weight to just drop off, and it's more than that. So as I mentioned, setting the intention is how you intend to live your day, how it's focused on current reality right now. But then the goals are the action steps that are going to move you towards something in the future. So let's talk about goals. And some of you may be familiar with this because the term SMART goals is often used in a business setting, but it's a great way to set any type of goal. And I am the type of person that some of my posts are out there and videos and things. I'm not big on New Year's resolutions. I don't like resolutions, the language of that. And most people don't do well with resolutions. And to me, I think every day is a new opportunity, so why wait? Though sometimes it is nice to start. I do start some of my challenges and new habit types of things, on a good starting point, but you don't have to. Every day is a day to start. So as you're watching this video, today's a great day to start working on some SMART goals. And the reason to set a SMART goal is that it helps kind of give you a little bit of a formula for a successful goal. It's telling you, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it attainable? Is it realistic, and is it timely? So let's take a look at each one of those, and I'm going to use my example of creativity. So I want to be more creative. I'm going to set my daily intention to be creative in my day, be creative with my thoughts and my actions. But now these are some things that I specifically want to do. And you want to get as specific as possible. If it's something that you want to involve with somebody else, name them. Is it, what do you want to accomplish? When are you going to do this? Where, if necessary? Why are you going to do this? So I want to start incorporating some drawings onto some potential merchandise. So I want to do at least 2 drawings a week that can be put onto a mug or a t-shirt or something like that. And I'm not setting myself a goal that I have to create a mug a week or a t-shirt a week. I just, right now at this point, I'm specifically saying that I'm going to do at least 2 drawings a week. I'm going to draw them. I'm not setting myself a specific day. but again, that's specifically 2 drawings. The why is because I want to start looking at potentially making some merchandise. It also makes me feel good whenever I draw. It makes me laugh. Now, is this goal measurable? Yes, it's measurable. I'm going to see results, and I should open up my sketch pad and I should see 2 sketches a week. So that is something that's very measurable. If it's days of exercising, that's something that's very measurable. So make sure it is something that is measurable, which leads us towards an action. Okay? Is it attainable? Now, this is one of the things that I really work with folks a lot on. We work on a reward system in our brains. So if we are successful with something that makes us feel good, that helps our self-esteem, that gives us a dopamine release, and then that allows us to keep accomplishing that goal. And especially if we set the bar too high, if we make our goal too challenging, then that can lead towards the negative feelings of judgment and guilt and doubt and affect our self-esteem in a negative way. So that's why when I talk to folks about setting goals and making habits, which is really what your goals are, setting up new healthy types of habits, whether it's around creativity or fitness or eating, then you want it to be attainable. You want it to be almost a micro goal. You want to make sure if you're moving more than make it a couple hundred steps. I talked about that in the Move More video. If you're changing the way you eat, then make very small changes. So we are much more successful with that, and as we are successful, then that leads us towards continuing. So that's why I said 2. I'm not setting myself a goal of drawing something every single day, because that to me would be daunting and overwhelming, and I might not be able to incorporate that into my regular work and off schedule. So 2 is attainable for me. Is this goal realistic? That's the other part. Is it something that I want to do? Am I committed to this? That's what the realistic part means. If you don't really want to do something, and I talked about this in Habits too, it has to be something that you want to do for yourself, not for somebody else. Don't take up a habit because your spouse tells you you should, your doctor tells you you should. Look inside and make sure that you are seeing and owning the benefit to that. And that's what that means by realistic. Because if you're going to tell yourself that you're going to eat broccoli twice a week and you hate broccoli, then that's not a realistic goal. You're not setting yourself up for success with that. If you can't swim and you're afraid of water, then setting yourself a goal of swimming twice a week, that may be not realistic as well. That might be too daunting for yourself. So it needs to be something that you have the time to do. It has, and that again goes towards those more the micro habits that you're building. I'm not saying that I have to have a full mug designed or a colored picture. I'm talking about 2 sketches. If I can do 2 sketches a week, then that is something that is realistic in the amount of time that I want to add to creativity in the week. Okay, so I want to do this. This is something I desire to do. I look forward to doing. It's not something that I dread. I see the benefit from it. All of those types of things. And then, is this a timely goal? So give myself a deadline, and all of my goals are based on this quarter. So I'm starting my goals in October, and my goal is to have 2 sketches a week. By the time this video comes out, then I should end up with at least probably 18 to 20 sketches, and out of those 18 to 20 sketches, I can probably find a few that might look good on a mug for some potential merchandise, or even just for my own coffee mug. So again, looking at the goals, we want to know and understand the SMART goal method of setting up our goals. We want to make sure it's very specific, and that's why I don't want to say I'm going to exercise more, that I'm going to drop weight, I'm going to eat healthy. What action, what specific thing are you going to do? Is it measurable? Okay, exercise more, that's not really measurable. I guess if you're not exercising at all, any exercise would be more, but you want it to be much more specific than that, and to measure the action. Is it attainable? Be realistic. Are these things that you want to do? Are these things that you desire to do? Are you doing it because you have the desire in your heart and you've identified this area? Is it attainable? Or are you giving yourself too much? Are you biting off too large of a habit to start with? Because we want to make sure that we're getting that reward, that we feel good and we're seeing that we can do this in the small chunks, and we can be like Milo of Croton and eventually carry that cow on our shoulder by starting out, by carrying just a little calf. So if I want to illustrate a children's book, which might be a future goal, I've got to start drawing now and get back into that habit of taking the time to be creative. And is it timely? Don't set yourself an unrealistic timeline. You want it to have some constraints on it. Looking too far forward into the future can be overwhelming and not lead us to success. So I'm looking at quarterly type of goals, and then I will look at my circle of life again and reassess and reset my intentions and reset my goals. So let me know how this exercise works for you, what your thoughts are. Have you used SMART goals before? Give it a shot, and I look forward to hearing from you as we go along the quarter, and we'll reassess around the end of the year, the beginning of January. So I look forward to hearing from you and all your SMART goals. Please feel free to share them below with the group. Take care and be well.